to the ones in the slums. Dystopia, infection, the end has become a self-inflicted apocalypse. Selective extermination is the only way we're stopping this. Choke the populace, close the esophagus of this metropolis. Revive Necropolis. Undead spread death and decay. They won't go unfed, they like to play with the prey. Hit them with the fist foot way if they disobey. KO. Okay, get low. Are you listening? This world is cyclical. These cycles are sickening.
All right, what the frick are we going to talk about today? Welcome to the Twinjitsu podcast. I'm your host, Justin Wohler. Next to me,
Chris Wohler.
It's going to be a fun episode. I can already tell you. Episode
Full of energy.
Episode 11, we skipped a week for our huge audience, and it is a huge audience. I've changed our posting day from Tuesday to Thursdays because I was struggling to get everything kind of edited and done and ready by Tuesday. So Thursday is our new episode day. Expect new episodes every Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty for some Twins Thursday. Well, how you doing, Twin?
Good. I feel like I might have diarrhea right now, but have you ever felt like you have to have diarrhea, but you don't have diarrhea?
No, it's usually the other way around.
Yeah, that's true. But that's how I feel right now.
Got any funny poop your pants stories to start our Jiu-Jitsu podcast off, right?
I mean, it's too many to tell.
We'll save that for the end. So make sure you stick around to the end for some poop stories, as everyone loves to hear. Anyways, so
if you weren't wearing pants, would you say I pooped my pants? Or would you say I pooped myself?
You probably, or I pooped the floor.
I've definitely had some getting out of the shower, squeeze a fart out, not a fart, jump back in the shower moments.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof.
Nothing worse than getting done with a shower and you're like, I have to poop now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's up there. I mean, I would consider that close to like when I die. I'll feel the same way.
No, most people do poop themselves when they die. Fun fact.
I'd like to do it right before I die. I feel like we're probably going to cut this.
No, we're not cutting anything out.
So you just told me some very exciting news. You want to share with the cast?
That I've lost some weight. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's diarrhea weight.
Call back.
No, yeah, I made a training plan to.
And let's be real. Anytime these days someone says they made a plan, ChatGPT did it.
No, 100%. ChatGPT made a training plan for me, a 20-week plan. I'm going to run 36 miles on the day before our 36th birthday. Yeah, that's the plan.
Why the day before?
So I can enjoy my birthday. And it makes more sense to do it on a Saturday so I can recover Sunday because I'm going to have to teach on Monday. So,
well, and then Masters Worlds is going to be that
the week after. Yeah.
Which is something I'm trying to think about because I do want to run.
I'm not doing it.
What, competing?
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence. I need to get in shape, but my jiu-jitsu feels really good right now. I'm just not in athlete shape right now. So,
yeah, I mean, I also think that this year, I mean, of course I would love to go to Vegas, but depending on how many competitors we have, I mean, I think it would probably make sense financially for just one of us to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've even thought about that with potentially kids' pans.
Yeah, I mean we'll just have to see.
It might only be, 4 or 5 kids, and they probably are all going to go on the same day.
Yeah.
Whereas before we had so many ages, but they're all teens now, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't think PJ is yet.
Yeah, PJ might be the only one, but I figure most of them will be on the same day. We'll see. It's got a lot coming up. The summer's it's like a slow time, but a busy time because we're filling our space with
summer
camps as well as getting our kids who are competing ready for pans.
If you have a kid that needs a summer camp, we got room.
Yeah. Hit us up.
Every week in June.
Well, let's talk about, since you brought it up, because I did have a subject I wanted to talk about today.
AIDS?
Bro.
What?
I mean,
I'm just
diarrhea,
throwing-
AIDS,
Okay, well, I'm
We're
just
a- we're-
throwing stuff out there.
a Jiu-Jitsu podcast.
I'm sure that's a topic in some schools.
Yeah. Okay, so running. Running. So,
I
well,
like
hold on. That ties it together because of Jenny, right? Did she have AIDS? In
Yeah.
Forrest Gump?
Yep.
All right, you tied it together. So speaking of running, we've both ran ultra
From our problems for the past 20 years by training jiu-jitsu.
36 years.
No, we didn't have many problems until we were like, never mind.
Yeah. So we ran 2 ultra marathons before. An ultra is anything past what? 24?
26.
Or 26
A
months.
marathon. Anything over a marathon. Which is kind of weird. It's like you can run 28 miles, call it an ultra, but you could also run 100 miles and call it an ultra. So it's a little confusing. We're on the lower end of the ultras.
We've ran 231.2.
I don't remember the exact mileage, but it's a 50 kilometers.
We did one on our birthday 4 years ago, and then one with our buddy Alex in the Bonneville Salt Flats, which was really cool.
Did we run those both in the same year?
I think it had to have been
The next
following
year.
Yeah.
That makes
But
sense.
I don't-
But it seems, but from my memory, I thought we ran it in 21.
We must have. We might have. Maybe there was a year. Well, yeah, because then we would have, the Salt Flats we did in 21, right?
Yeah.
The other race
Like
we would have done
April.
in 22. I
Okay.
think. But we really didn't prepare all that much, and the results showed, but we never got into it
But we finished. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's important to.
we never did it to get a certain time. It was just about seeing if we could do it. And it's up there with like physical things, the hardest thing I've ever done.
100%. But we've done some pretty, like some difficult things. We did, these are on YouTube. We did the Mikey Musameshi challenge where we trained for 8 hours with no,
We fasted.
we fasted the whole time. And then we went and ate pizza and pasta, just like Mikey Musameshi. And then we did,
The mile.
we would run a mile, time it, and however long it took us, we would then roll around for that amount of time. And we did that 10 times. So 10 miles, 10 rounds of jiu-jitsu. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to do something like that again.
That's on our Gracie Baja Franklin channel. If you want to check it out. Yeah, I would love to do that, but like on our Twinjitsu channel.
Yeah, I mean,
Do another challenge.
the videos are good too.
Yeah, they turned out all right. Well, I mean, my plan right now is to run with you. I've only ran one day since you started
One day.
last week, and it was rough.
Yeah, I mean, today
But we
was
also
rough.
were
I
both
only
getting-
did 3 miles
We
and
both got sick last week.
it was rough.
What do you like about running? I can't say it without saying running. Jenny.
It makes me feel like a kid, if that makes sense. I like the way I feel after the endorphins, get a little buzz from it. I also, and I was talking to someone about this, and I know this is probably an unhealthy habit, but I like the fact that I can eat more food if I'm running.
Yeah, I mean,
Because if you can't tell, I like to eat.
but that can be the thing with running, and that's like Professor Jimmy said when we were running. It's like you gotta strength train too. You can't just
Well, yeah,
run.
and that's part of my plan is I'm doing. Let me go over my plan that ChatGPT made. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, even though I'm gonna adjust Friday to probably Saturday, but we'll see. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm running. It progressively gets longer each week. So 3 miles. This week is 3 miles, 4 miles, 6 miles. Last week it was 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles.
How do you know that many people named Miles?
Good one. And then the off days, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is strength day. And it's like last week was 30 to 60 minute walks. This week is 60-minute walks. So, I mean, that's almost harder than the running days.
Yeah, walking can be very boring.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just listen to a podcast. And
Where did you run today?
3 miles.
Where?
At Edwin Warner Park.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's just after our meeting, I went straight there.
Were you in like the woods, like on a trail,
No,
or it's like a walking?
It's a paved trail. I'm avoiding, even though there are some minor elevation changes, I'm avoiding hills right now. I'm just not prepared.
Build up.
Yeah. And I mean, the run I plan on doing for the 36 miles, it's like there's some elevation changes, but I'm not doing a trail run. I'm running on the road. I'm going to build that probably this week, but the plan is to run. It's going to be a nostalgia. It's going to be a what?
Well, what are you trying to say? Like, it's going to be a nostalgic
run.
Yeah.
So like, I want to start the first place we lived when we moved from California, and then we're gonna run all the way to Franklin Green, which is the neighborhood we grew up in, and then we're gonna run past. We're not gonna run to Hillsboro, although that would be kind of cool because that's pretty far. But we'll run past Johnson Elementary, Franklin High, all the spots. I want to run. There's some places that we hung out as kids. I want to run by Jalen's, a friend of ours who passed away. I want to run by his apartment that we grew up hanging out at. And I just want to, I'm sure I'm going to cry. Like it's going to be an emotional.
Well, I mean, every long run we've done, we've cried. I mean, even our first marathon attempt, I feel like we were maybe not.
That's on YouTube. I watched that the other day.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I forgot that we recorded that. That's funny. Did I have the mullet?
Had long hair. Yeah. You had hair. But you were kind of thick.
Yeah, I mean,
way thicker than
I was
you are
probably
now.
like 230 something. Yeah. I mean, I got almost up to like 240 when...
Lightweight?
Yeah, when we were starting back at the gym and stuff. Well, I mean, that's exciting. Running was like during COVID got me back into wanting to get into shape and stuff.
I remember the first time I decided I'm going to start running. I was vaping nicotine and it was like affecting my lungs, and I threw my vape away and I went out and I ran 2 miles or something, and I was like, I'm not touching that stuff again. And I ended up touching the stuff again, but it was good.
As you do.
And I don't know. Because I mean, dude, I remember when we were teenagers, like our friends would be like, yo, let's walk to the store. I'd be like,
yeah, oh yeah.
Walk to the store?
Remember when Joe
Rapinski's dad?
Yeah, his dad was making us walk from Franklin High School to our house. It was 1.5 miles, and you would have...
Dude, I don't even think it was a mile.
You would have thought you were telling us that we had to go across the Oregon Trail and settle.
I mean, I look back on that, and even though we weren't ready for that, he was tough love, and we needed it.
Oh,
we
100%.
were fat and lazy, and he just said, I'm not going to give you guys a ride home from school anymore because you guys need exercise.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
Yeah.
But I respect that a lot about him.
Well, what I wanted to talk about, other than the running stuff that came up, was
herpes.
Jesus. Ay. Well, Matt, herpes is a thing.
Yeah, that would be absolutely disgusting.
Clean your gym. Shower, folks. No, I wanted to talk about developing a game in jiu-jitsu. Like, when do you feel like you started to develop what your game would be now, or like the start of what your game is now as a brown belt? You're
Oh.
He's a black.
Competing. Like, I mean, I think maybe not blue belt. Like, I went into blue belt worlds pretty oblivious to what my game plan was. But I would say by the time I was a purple belt, I had my game plan. It's like, I'm going to pull guard. I'm going to play Diarrhea.
Yeah, I mean, that's blue belt. A lot of times, like white belts talked about is like, okay, building your fundamentals and all that. And then blue belt is like kind of trying everything. And then by purple belt, you should have like your A and B game that you can hit against people your skill, maybe a little above your skill and certainly below. I would say it was the same for me. I mean, just competing forces you to come up with a game plan. And even though the game plan's not always going to go your way, like you have to be able to funnel people into your game. So if you're a De La Riva player, then you need to get to your game and spend as much time in the match getting to your game and working your game so it goes your way, right? For me, and I don't know about you, you probably just copied me, but
I mean, for sure.
I started to develop my game by finding someone I like and learning their game. So for me, Keenan Cornelius was huge at the time, making his purple belt, brown belt runs.
It's so funny because like most people now probably don't even know who, like people, if they just started within the last few years, they probably don't even know who Keenan is. But like,
100%.
He was such an influential person on both of our jiu-jitsu.
I think he changed jiu-jitsu more than most in recent years just with the lapel stuff. I mean, of course, there's like new things that come up in jiu-jitsu or iterations of things, but like worm guard had never been seen before. All that lapel stuff. I
know. Are you sure? I mean, I think but there was lapel guard.
There was lapel stuff, but not with his grips.
Right.
Where
I mean,
it involved entangling your own leg.
Right. Yeah.
Which makes a huge difference. But for me, he was a similar body type, tall, lanky. He started to compete heavier.
Mildly autistic.
Probably a little bit. And
That's
so
okay.
It just fit. I felt like with my body type, and I liked his style of game. It just was a no-brainer to study him. But I always suggest to people, like, you don't have to find a competitor that's your same body type, but that'll help. I think it'll make things easier if you're short and stocky, find a brown belt, black belt competitor, active competitor, or even older competitor that has a similar body type and study their game. And like really the game is simple. What kind of guards do they play and what kind of attacks? What style of passing? Are they pressure? Are they loose outside passing? And then usually they're going to have a go-to position. Are they looking to get to side control, mount, or back? And like you can break down people's games pretty easily by watching, a series of their matches.
Do you think Leandro Lowe would still be competing at the adult level if he were still alive?
Probably. It's hard to say, but I mean, he definitely would have competed more, I think. I don't think he was like retired at the time, and he'd probably be doing pretty well,
I mean, he was. I didn't really necessarily study him, but watching him helped my passing a ton. I looked at it like a dance, like dancing around people's guards.
And, a lot of Keenan's game came from him, parts of it, the passing and the spider guard stuff. And that's kind of how jiu-jitsu evolves, right? It's like people are studying the people above them, ahead of them, and then they start to emulate and then come up with their own version of it. But that helped me a lot to start developing a game. And again, not to discourage anyone, because like I have a friend who has a style of game that I shouldn't say shouldn't work for his body type, because that's jiu-jitsu. You can make it work for any body type, but not typical of his body type, Maroof, does double unders, over under, and deep half. And he's, well, right now he's put on a little bit of med school weight, but he's a small guy, like 150 pounds. When we were training,
he
even
made
lighter
it
than
lighter,
that.
Yeah.
And his pressure was unreal. And his deep half was unreal. Like if he put you in deep half, the chances of him sweeping you were pretty high. And, all that was from him emulating, I think, mainly Bernardo Faria, which is someone who's,
Not
three
his
times
body.
his size.
Yeah.
So.
And half the IQ. I'm just kidding. Bless you. What is he known for saying?
Huge honor for me.
Huge honor.
Okay, guys. Bernardo Faria.
Huge honor for me. Huge honor for me.
Yeah, he kind of sounds like a Muppet.
Yeah.
But he might be one of the few nice guys left in jiu-jitsu who doesn't have like allegations or
True.
something behind him. So how would you suggest maybe like a blue belt or even a white belt? How would you suggest they start developing a game?
Well, one thing that you told me that was helpful was like, especially with the guard, was like develop your game based off of range. And I think you got it from Keenan. Is like, if someone's on both knees, De La Riva is not going to work. So what guard are you going to use when they're on both knees? Are you going to use half guard or are you going to use closed guard, for example, spider guard? If someone's one knee down, one knee up, that's the next range. What guard are you going to use? And then when someone's standing. And obviously it can get way more in depth, but that was helpful for me.
Yeah, for your guard, knowing your ranges and what grips. Like, okay, if I have double sleeves, I can do these guards, these attacks. If I have collar sleeve, I can, do. And then a lot of it, again, is like funneling. Like, my reverse De La Riva isn't great. So I just use reverse De La Riva when like I'm forced to play it off of like someone who's trying to knee cut to get to De La Riva. And, a lot of times guards, you don't have to necessarily attack from the guard. You need to be able to know how to control like a lasso or how to off balance and stuff. But you can always use lasso, for example, to get to your De La Riva. Or if you like lasso, you can always use De La Riva to get to your lasso. And being able to
connecting guards is super important.
And then get to where you're strong.
I remember I was probably a white belt, maybe just got my blue belt, but someone stood up and I just kept half guard and he's like, change your guard. Half guard's not going to work here. But something that I realized later on is like deep half is just like X guard. It's just from a knee down rather than the knee up. And when I realized that, it made my deep half guard better, even though my deep half guard's been feeling pretty crappy. I get there, great, but I just haven't developed my game, I guess.
Another tip I got from someone, which goes to developing your game, is like, where are the upper belts or even lower belts sometimes? Like, where are you getting beat? So if you're an open guard player, are they passing your open guard or are they forcing the half guard? And like for me, when my open guard started getting better, the upper belts weren't passing my guard from open guard or De La Riva. It was them forcing chest to chest and then passing from chest to chest.
So would you say that people were beating you off chest to chest?
I would say it 10 times fast and look in the mirror. Yeah, they were. So that's another thing that can help, especially like as you say you want to work on De La Riva or like, De La Riva to deep De La Riva to baby bolo. You're going to start finding the other paths to other techniques when you get stopped, right? And a general statement I always say with guard is if you're doing everything right and you're trying to sweep your partner, but they're defending, they're either widening their base or whatever, they're always leaving something else open. So if you're going for a sweep, it's not working, then there's probably a neck available. There's probably an arm available to go for a submission. Or sometimes switching to go for the sweep on the other side would be available as well, which is what I've been doing with like my butterfly. Like if I get stuck on one side, I just switch my grips and tilt them to the other side. And that can help you keep a rhythm of attacking too. Because a lot of times you like go for something, it's not working, and then you either like give up and move on, but instead like staying in the rhythm of the match. And okay, you go for it, it doesn't work. Be ready to, probably let go of one grip to catch something else. Right now, like I almost think even though open guard I feel like my open guard's pretty strong, I feel like my half guard's gotten better. And it's for a few different reasons. Like one was like when, can you remember Professor Pedro?
Yeah.
He would pass my half guard. That's the only time he could pass. It was like getting chest to chest, getting a tight crossface. And then once I started to develop like my knee shield, preventing the crossface, it became much more difficult. And because of that, I feel like that made my half guard even stronger. Now,
man, I feel like I didn't realize that there was a difference between chest to chest and knee shield for years in jiu-jitsu. I mean, it took me a long time to realize that, hey, when someone's chest to chest, yeah, it's half guard, but it's actually more like side control, even though they have your leg. Like,
right. They're bypassing the legs to get the chest connection. Is that a big word for you? I think sometimes you go out to clubs, you get a bypass, right?
Yeah, well,
off the rails.
Only if there's drinks.
So, yeah. And I know you've kind of just been getting back to training because of your vitiligo or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Your vertigo. Where do you think like you need to grow in your game right now?
Tapping people less.
Getting less submissions? Less submission focus?
I mean, I would say, I've always struggled with knee shield or knee cuts, like people knee cutting me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because my reverse de la Hiva sucks. Yeah, that's something I've always struggled. Usually I will allow the knee to cut and I'll build up to a dogfight with the front thong or whatever they call it. With the lapel or the belt.
I do privates. I can show you.
When I was rolling with Kevin, he kept knee cutting, and at one point, did you see his brown belt? How ratty it was. I handed it off, and I started to build up, and I just heard it go, and I just let go of it. I'm like, dude, I do not want to rip your belt.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Well, that leads us, but I could show you some knee cut stuff because I feel like I've got some good tricks from there. I mean, you may know them, but
the one thing that I've learned over the past years was from Jack Spinell.
What was it?
The hooking the foot with your other leg and kicking their leg back, extending their leg back. It's like
to force the knee down?
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Well, I didn't realize it until I rolled with Jackson probably 2 years ago. And I'm like, what did you just do?
Yeah, because then you can go right to the John Wayne.
Yeah. It's almost like a modified lockdown situation.
Yeah. That's what I used against Tom Bratcher when he came and trained with us and couldn't pass my guard. Choked me, but couldn't pass my guard.
Yeah. Don't let him hear this. He'll freaking fly out here and beat the snot out of you.
Well, I'll give him his props. He's one of the best guys I've rolled with in recent years. So, you brought up Kevin. We just went to Ivy Jiu-Jitsu. Kevin was on our podcast a while back. He is at Kevin Jiu-Jitsu on Instagram. I gave him his black belt. We gave him his black belt.
Yeah, it felt like I was the third wheel, to be honest with you. But
I realized after, I was like, you should have tied it with me. But
no, I don't care about that. I wish I would have had the opportunity to speak before we promoted him. just because I wanted to give him some props.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, I was watching a video with, who was it? Robert Drysdale. And he's like going over the history of jiu-jitsu and stuff. But he talks about, he's like, your coach is only 1% of your jiu-jitsu. And if you think it's different, then you're never going to be good. And I think there's a lot to that, you know, especially with Kevin, the route he took. Like, he opened his own school as a purple belt. And even though he comes down to Franklin and trains as often as he can, he had to take his jiu-jitsu into his own hands, and he has, you know, and I think it's important for people to know that. I think had I known that at blue belt, I would have been more willing to drill and study, where it's like, you know, I would just come to class and thought, well, this is where I'm going to learn all my jiu-jitsu, and that's not how it works.
And that kind of goes with the topic of building a game, right? Like, how every school does things differently. Some school will pick a position and they focus on that for a month. Some people will do 2 weeks. Regardless, like, there's only so much time in a calendar year to go over different things. Like, if you want to focus on deep half, you're probably going to have to do your own studying and research. And, you know, of course, I've learned lots of jiu-jitsu throughout the years through going to classes or seminars, but like, the most valuable stuff is something that I either found on my own through studying, whether it be an instructional or studying matches, and then just the things that you find while you train. And that's the stuff that sticks. Like, I can tell you, okay, here's how you avoid a triangle. Keep your both arms together, either in or out. And if you start to separate, you're going to get triangled. I could tell you that. You're still going to have to get triangled however many times before you start, you know, sticking to that principle. And then even sometimes, you know, you'll still get caught because that's jiu-jitsu. But you got to learn on your own. And self-discovery is a huge part of jiu-jitsu that a lot of people miss out on. And I think some people just don't have the time, or like they want to come work out, roll, and then they want to forget about jiu-jitsu. And that's kind of how I'm getting to a little bit with golf, where it's like,
I think that's fine too.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, like, in your training sessions, you have to be the one that's like, oh, I'm getting my ass kicked here. Why? And you have to have those inner thoughts, where if you don't, it's like, there's no way your coach is going to be able to fix all your problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll get asked, like, oh, how should I get better? Da, da, da. And once someone asks me, I'll pay more attention. And not that I'm not paying attention, but it's like, I'm looking at the room overall. And if I see things here and there that I can say, hey, you should try this out, or look up this or whatever, of course I'll do it. But that's not always what goes into running a good class. Is like, a lot of it's watching to make sure no one's hurting anyone, watching to make sure.
That's like one of the biggest things about running a class, is making sure people are safe.
Yeah. And, you know, you have to be able to take a step back and look at your own roles and your jiu-jitsu. And a big thing that, you know, people do, but I think more people should do, is film your training. Because I'll have a private lesson where someone will be like, oh, this happened, da, 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 da. And then we try and recreate it, but we can't because they don't have the film to be. And it's like, if you brought me the video, I could tell you in 2 seconds, more than likely, what you should have done. But if we can't even get to the position, or you can't recreate it, it's pretty tough, right? So that would be another recommendation, is film your roles. All right, what else to developing a game? Are you going to ask me what I want to work on in my game?
Yeah, what would you like to work on in your game? Being less of a fucking asshole?
I don't really. I mean, I'm trying to work more on leg locks, like heel hooks and stuff, or even just the knee bars and toe holds for the gi. I used to go for them a lot when I was like a blue belt and I couldn't use them, and then I kind of stopped using them. And then now that we've had more colored belts, more brown belts and stuff, I've been attacking them more, but then finding like my technique's not the best. So I will just overall leg locks I'm trying to get better at. One thing I was going to say, as far as your guard, which is like an underrated tip to develop your guard, is to work on your wrestling. when I watch Pan's recap, and maybe we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but a ton of sweeps are going to turn into some form of wrestle up where you have a single leg, a dog fight, or body lock situations. Because when the points get involved, people start running away to try and build up to avoid the sweep, and it just turns into wrestling. And my wrestling's gotten better over the past 4 or 5 years just through training with more wrestlers and stuff and paying more attention to it. But I think that's helped my guard a lot, is just having some wrestling.
To that point, go back and watch like the majors, like Pan's, Worlds. Like there's a move, it's kind of stupid, but I saw from Pan's that I've been trying to implement, and it's the guy, they shake hands beginning of the match. Guy opens his lapel and starts to hand it to the other guy. When the guy goes to reach, changes levels, blast level. It was sick. Yeah. So I've been trying. It hasn't worked, but
I still have my trademark. I clap real hard.
I've told people about that. I throw fake sand in people's face. It usually only works one time against that one person, but when it works, it's hilarious. Tony Ferguson.
Another good one is the dummy sweep, just like the both ankles, getting your butterfly hooks. I've only done this once, but I said I'll like stop and I'll look around. I say, hey, scoot back a little bit. When they start walking back, I'll trip them and get on top.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a real technique.
I know. It's fun though.
Yeah, I mean, when I was rolling with Reggie one time, he let me get him in an omoplata, and we were kind of stuck in the position, and he was like, Chris, you need to reach in between my legs. So I reached in between his legs. So I'm behind him. I reach in between his legs, and then he omoplated me.
Yeah.
And I mean, that stuff's funny, but, it's not really competition relevant.
You would do that to me, too. You'd say, hold on. My arm's trapped. And then I'd lift whatever was trapping his arm. You'd go, thank you. Or the classic Apollo, one of our purple belts. If a lower belt catches him in a submission, he'll just go, you'll never get that. And then they'll let go.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Not even close. You'll never get that. All right, well, let us know, especially upper belts or even lower belts. What questions do you want to know about developing your game, or any other questions you might have for us? You can always email us at twinjitsupodcast@gmail.com.
And it'll sit there for a few months, because do you check that email?
I check it once every 2 months. So
yeah, all right.
You're right.
All right, yeah.
And then upper belts comment, like, what tips would you have for lower belts to develop their game? Do you have anything before we finish?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah. It was a rough start, but...
Was it?
Yeah, there's lots of diarrhea, AIDS.
I'm still dealing with that.
I mean, I'm kind of right there with you. That's kind of why I'm wrapping this thing up. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Every Thursday now, the podcast will come out. See y'all later.
Welcome to the future. Look at what we've done. Destruction of the psyche as a people. We were dumb. We were numb to the ones in the slums. Dystopia, infection. The end has become a self-inflicted apocalypse. Selective extermination is the only way we're stopping this. Choke the populace, close the esophagus of this metropolis. Revive necropolis. Undead spread death and decay. They won't go unfed. They like to play with the prey. Hit them with the fist foot way if they disobey. KO. Okay, get low. Are you listening? This world is cyclical. These cycles are sickening, blistering. The bubble around your consciousness is thickening. A crooked cop on a rooftop picking off those picketing. Don't be so sure of it. This isn't permanent. We are only visiting. Set here for imaging. Immolate thyself. Dissipate from wealth. Imitate stealth. Innovate. Help. Team demolition. Demolish. Abolish. Decommission. The opposition. That's the mission of every politician that passed the audition. Have we lost cognition? And if death is the cost of living, then hotbox the cockpit. Stop the villains from killing the innocent. A militant incident is imminent. Welcome to the future. Welcome to the, welcome to the, welcome to the future. Welcome to the, welcome to the future. Welcome to the, welcome to the future. Future. Welcome to the, welcome to the future. Look at what we've done. Destruction of the psyches of people we were young. Welcome to the, welcome to the, welcome to the motherfucking future. Thank you everybody for coming out. We are Moonhead and Astronauts.